Hey, folks, the man with the pinky ring and the New York thing. Forget about it. Bad Brad Berkwitt. And you're watching the debut of Ask Bad Brad on the Ringside Report web TV channel. Now, my followers on Twitter and my viewers ask me, would I be willing to do a show where you can ask me basically anything? And because I believe in being interactive and I care about my viewers and what's going on with humanity and what's going on with you as well, I said, absolutely, we would do it. So today, Saturday, November 13th, is the debut episode of Ask Bad Brad. Now, what I will ask you to do is please send your questions in. Don't tweet them. Don't leave them on a tweet. Don't DM them to me. Send them to my email, which goes directly to me, and it's BBERKWITT@AOL.com. bberkwitt@AOL.com. I'll grab a couple of them at a time. Probably going to do about 4 per show, but depending on how many we get and time constraints, I'll try to get as many in as I can. And as well, follow me on Twitter at BadBradRSR. Again, it's at BadBradRSR. And don't forget, hit the button to subscribe. Leave your comments below the video as well. Don't leave questions on the video. Email them to me. It's the easiest way that I can put them together, compile them, and answer your questions as soon as I can get the shows out. All right, so without further ado, forget about it. Let's get into your questions on Ask Bad Brad. First question. Hello, Bad Brad. If you could go 3 rounds for charity with someone, who would it be and why? Looking forward to hearing your thoughts. Larry D. Well, Larry D is my man, who's Larry Keto on Twitter. Okay, he used to write for Ringside Report. Fantastic writer. Hopefully one day, Larry, you'll come back and you'll join the team again. But I appreciate everything you do on Twitter with retweeting and supporting the team. I really do. So since you asked me that question on this particular day, it could be really anybody that I'd like to get into a ring with for charity. But I would like to get somebody that I mentioned on my last Bad Brad's Thoughts. Cancun Cruz. Teddy Boy Cruz, a.k.a. Lying Ted Cruz. I would love to get him in a ring for 3 rounds where I put up a certain amount of money, he puts up a certain amount of money, and the winner, which you know who it's going to be, but hey, that the winner's money goes to the other person. I'm sorry, the winner gets the money of the other person's donation for charity. I get it right. So I'd say Ted Cruz. And I won't give it away how I would do in that fight. But it'd be 3 rounds, and Teddy Boy would have to get it for leaving his constituents when that stuff was going on in Texas. He would definitely have to get the shit kicked out of him for attacking Big Bird. So today, Larry, in answer to your question, I would like to get Cancun Ted Cruz in a boxing ring, 3 rounds for charity. We put up the money on both sides. The winner gets the money from the loser and gives it to charity of choice. All right, so there's your answer, pal. Next up, Bad Brad. Love you are so accessible to your viewers and your fans. I hope my question makes your show. For a few years now, I've idolized Marielle Trump. I know you two are close and your shows with her are amazing. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear Mary's name? Talia. Now, I meant to say this in the opening. When I used to do my email bag with boxing questions, I would always ask people to give your full name, where you were from, and all of that. Since I understand that some people want to be anonymous on Twitter, and I don't want them to feel uncomfortable, and some people that precluded them from sending in questions because that was our format of the show, I'm not asking you to do that anymore. If you put a funny name or just a catchphrase or whatever, I'll read it as that. Just as long as the question makes sense, that's fine. But we're not doing it anymore because I want people to feel comfortable. So I know some people want to remain anonymous, and you can do that. But I was laughing when I got this question only because I told Mary that out of every guest I've ever had on, and one of the most frequently asked questions that I get is about Mary because so many people adore her. So what is, Talia, you want to know, what is the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the name? For me, when I hear the name Mary L. Trump, which most of the big guys in media don't say the L part. It's Mary L. Trump. Middle name is Leah. Okay, so what comes to mind is this. And absolutely what you see is what you get type of person that is full of compassion, who um, uses her platform to speak out and constantly moves humanity forward at, like I always tell people, at a personal cost. She doesn't have to do it. But as you, Talia, are, and me, and a lot of other people, we're very grateful for her. So that's what comes to my mind when I hear or I get asked about Mary L. Trump. All right, next up. Hey, sir, how old were you when you began to box or started to take it seriously? Thanks, Bruce Morrow. Now, Bruce, I'm saying your full name because you put it in the email. Bruce, I believe, is from Canada. He's a follower of mine, subscriber. Greatly appreciate. Oh, and I got to give him a shout out because he is the biggest Karen Carpenter fan that ever walked the earth. Like I love Sinatra, he loves Karen Carpenter. But he's got great taste in music. And we had a little debate there last night on Donny Hathaway, but he clarified his statement. So, Bruce, you're all right with me. Like I said, you're a cool cat. So you want to know how old was I when I began to box and started taking it seriously? So I was 12 years old in 1980. And actually, I'll abbreviate the story because I've told it many times. I went to go sign up for football at a gym called Allen Park in North Miami Beach, Florida, off 163rd Street. And when I went to go to the table to sign up, I was with my dad. And I heard a noise that captivated me. It was da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And it was, come to find out, because the gym was on the other side of a boxing wall, it was a speed bag. So it was the repetition of a boxer in the speed bag. I was captivated. Turned to my dad, simply said, no longer want to do football, want to box. He said to me, Bradley, and I quote, as long as you give it your all, I'll support you all the way. And he was at every fight of mine for the next 3 years. I started at 12, got out at 15. When did I start taking it seriously? The minute I started doing it, because if you know anything about boxing, it is not a team sport. So you can have a corner, but the minute that bell rings, ding, you are out there one-on-one. And tennis is one-on-one, but you're not getting hit in the face and hit in the stomach and hit in the arms and hit everywhere, okay? So I took it seriously from the very first moment I started, and I recommend it for any child that, if you have a child that is suffering from self-esteem, or if they're getting bullied, or whatever the case may be, boxing is a great way to learn self-defense and camaraderie, because when you fight somebody in the ring, it's different than fighting them on the street. You have a bond. And though I haven't seen any of my opponents in 30 plus years that I fought, if I were to meet them today, the ones that I remembered, I actually remember them all, there would still be a bond, and I would remember the 3 rounds or whatever we were when we were in the ring. All right, so that's the answer to your question, Bruce. Last up, Bad Brad. I have been in such a funk as of late, but to see you are still on Twitter moving humanity forward warms my heart. If this question is not too personal, what do you do when the world, or in our case, America, is so bleak these days? Penny. Well, Penny, I'm not sure who you are on Twitter, but I'm sorry to hear that you're in a funk, and a lot of people are, and I understand it. That's why I put up tweets and I say, I hear you, I see you, I'm here to listen. You can tweet me, my DM is open. The only thing I say with my DM is just don't bust up in there like it's the Wild Wild West. Please say hello. Please say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Show courtesy, because I'm opening my DM, which a lot of people don't even respond to DMs. I do. Okay. So what do I do when things are bleak? Well, I put out a tweet actually yesterday about this, that everybody is tired. We're tired from 6 years of Trump. We're tired of 2 years almost of COVID and other things that go on in our lives. So what I do in those cases is I try to find the beauty in something, even if it's for just a fleeting moment. That's one thing that I do as well. The creative part of me is what I dive into, whether it's my shows or writing or whatever it is I do with my channel or my Ringside Report. That's what I do. So when things get bleak, I go into expressing myself through my videos, through my shows, and through my writing. Haven't written as much lately as I would like to, because I've been reading quite a bit, books that people are sending me to review on the Bad Brad Berkwitt show. So that's also something I like to do. I like to read, because you escape when your current situation when you read. And it's something that my father, God rest his soul, instilled in me at a young age when he used to take me to the community library, which was just such an amazing place on Miami Beach after we moved there from New York. And I would get 2-3 books at a time, usually autobiographies of Bela Lugosi or Sinatra, Sophie Tucker, you name it, George Burns and Gracie Allen, way past the years of my age. But because my father was 40 years my senior, I always had a fascination of people that he talked about. So that's what I do. And I hope you're able to work out your situation. I'm always available in a DM if you need to bend my ear or whatever on a tweet. I'm always going to try to add some levity to the situation through humor, through listening, through trying to invoke some good memories. That's why I put those type of questions up about yesteryear, because I'm very nostalgic. All right, folks, that is the first edition of Ask Bad Brad on the Ringside Report Web TV channel. Again, please don't tweet me your questions or leave it on a tweet or DM them. Email them to me at BBERKWITT, which is B for Brad, Berkwitt, my last name, at AOL.com. Again, make sure you hit that button and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. You can leave comments below the channel. I always personally respond. And as well, follow me on Twitter at BadBradRSR. Again, that's at BadBradRSR. And remember, folks, we close out this show as we do at all my other shows. Remember, every act of kindness is a little love we leave behind. Bad Brad.
Hey folks, the man with the pinky ring and the New York thing, forget about it, Bad Brad Berkwitt. I want to talk to you about my book, Boxing Interviews of a Lifetime by me, forget about it. There it is. If you would like to pick up a copy of it, go to authorhouse.com. Again, that's authorhouse.com. If you would like to get it personally autographed with the message that you want in it, or you want me to put something in it, I can take care of that too. You just got to pay postage and handling to Indiana, and we can talk about that in the future. All right, again, Boxing Interviews of a Lifetime is the book. Pick it up. Bad Brad out.